Good morning students. Hope you are all doing well. So today we are going to see one important 10 marks question in unit 5, that is the black box testing. Let me get into the topic. What is black box testing? Black box testing is also known as behavioral testing, opaque box testing, closed box testing, specification based testing, or eye-to-eye testing. It is a software testing method that analyzes the functionality of a software or application without knowing. That is the important for the black box testing. Black box testing can be performed without knowing much about the internal structure or design of the item that is being tested and compares the input value with the output value. So what is the black box testing? This testing is performed without knowing the internal structure or design of the system, that is the black box testing. Then the types of black box testing. Actually there is a two type. One is functional testing, another one is non-functional testing. What is the functional testing? This type deals with the functional requirements of or specification of an application, that is the functional testing. It deals with the requirements or specification of an application, that is the functional. Non-functional testing are required to be tested to improve the quality and performance of the application, that is non-functional testing. Then what are all the things we are performing under the functional testing? Smoke testing, sanity testing, integration testing, system testing, regression testing, and user acceptance testing. Then under non-functional testing we are performing usability testing, load testing, performance testing, compatibility testing, stress testing, and scalability testing. Then what are the tools used for black box testing? That is the real-time application tools that are used in black box testing nowadays. Under functional testing the tools are QTP and Selenium. Under non-functional testing, load runner and JMeter. This is the very important non-functional testing tools nowadays we are using. Then what are the techniques we are performed under the black box testing? The testing techniques are equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table testing, state transition testing, error guessing, graph based testing methods, and comparison testing. Let us see one by one in detail. What is equivalence partitioning? Actually the input values to the system or application are divided into different classes or groups based on its similarity in the outcome. Hence, instead of using each and every input value, we can now use any one value from the groups or class to test the outcome. Okay, let me see the example in equivalence partitioning. For example, we have the text field that accepts the age. What value it can accept for the age? It can accept the values only the numbers from 18 to 60. That is the age value. It can accept only 18 to 60. That is the thing. So normally we can have the three test cases. Instead of checking the values from 1 to 100 or more than 100, we can test only the three test cases. What are all that one? It will only one valid class, that is anything between 18 to 60, that thing only the text value will accept. The two invalid classes will become the values less than or equal to 17, that is the first invalid, and another invalid is greater than or equal to 61. The values from 18 to 60 only it can accept. The values is less than 17 or less than or equal to 17 or greater than or equal to 61, these two are the invalid thing. That is the values from 1 to 100 or 120 the values, but we have reduced the test case, that is the test cases from 1 to 100, that is reduced to only the three test cases. That is we are equally partitioning the thing into the three test cases. One is less than 18, another one is 18 to 60, that is the valid, then another invalid is greater than 60, that is the invalid. This is about the equivalence partition. Then the next one is boundary value analysis. It is focus on the values at the boundary level. Boundary means the values near the limit where the behavior of the system changes. For example, if you want to test the field where values from 1 to 100, we have to check the values from 1 to 100, but should be accepted the only the boundary values, that is the lower limit is 1, so it can accept the values 1 minus 1, then the 1, then 1 plus 1. The upper limit is 100, so it can accept 100 minus 1, 100 and 100 plus 1. So it will accept, instead of testing the 1 to 100 test cases, we can just check 0, 1 to, that is the lower limit. For the upper limit 99, 100 and 101. So instead of checking the 100 test cases in boundary value, we are checking only the 6 test cases. That is the advantage of boundary value analysis. Then the next technique is decision table testing, that is check the if condition. Here, if the condition is true, then the action 1 will be performed. Suppose the condition is false, that is the else case, the action 2 will be performed. So this is the true, the action 1 will be performed. If the case is false, then the action 2 will be performed. So instead of considering all the test cases, a tester will identify only the two outputs. What are the outputs? Action 1 and action 2. If it is true, they can consider the action 1. If it is false, they can consider the action 2. Only for two conditions. What are the conditions? True and false. So instead of considering all the things, we are considering only the two outputs based on two conditions. So this is for the decision table testing. Next one, state transition testing, to test a different states of the system under test. The state of the system changes depending upon the conditions or events. So normally the state will purely based or depending upon the conditions or events that are performed. So the events trigger states which become a scenarios and the tester needs to test them. So here in state transition diagram, so the state transition diagram will be helpful in the state transition testing, that is a systematic transition state transition diagram gives a clear view of the system what it is changes. This is about the state transition diagram. Next one is very important, error guessing technique, the application behavior and functionalities to guess the error prone areas. What are all the possibility of occurring the errors? So that will be guessing by using this testing technique, that is the error guessing. What are the usual errors should come? That is divide by 0, handling null values in text fields, accepting the submit button without any value, file upload without any attachment, file upload with less than or more than the limit of the size that are occurred. So here we are giving the possible errors are appearing while we are testing the software. So that can be performed with the help of this error guessing technique. Then the next one is graph based testing methods. Objects are identified and graph is prepared for the identified object. From this object graph, each object relationship are identified and test cases are written accordingly to discover the errors. So based on the object relationship, what are all the possibility of occurring the errors that can be discovered and test case are prepared. This is about the graph based testing method. Next one, this is a comparison testing. Actually in this comparison testing, different independent version of the same software. For example, the 1 year before one version it may came, after 6 months another version may come, now another version is come, tomorrow another version may come. So the different versions of the same software can be tested in comparison testing, that is are used to compare to each other for testing this method. So these are all the various techniques about the black box testing. And what are all the advantages in black box testing? The tester need not have a technical background. This is a very important advantage in black box testing. they need not have technical background while we are testing. It is important to test by being in the user shoes, that is they can think from the user point of view, that is called user shoes. Then the next advantage, testing can be started once the development of the project or application is after completing the software application only the testing can be started, that is the black box testing can be started. And one more thing, both the testers and developers work independently without interfacing in each other's space, that is the tester may be some other, they can work separately, and the developers will be work separately, they both will be working independently. Developers develop the software, after developing only the tester will perform the testing process, and it is more effective for large and complex application. Defects and inconsistencies can be identified at the early stage of the testing, that is at the beginning stage we can identify the possible bugs. Then what are all the disadvantages? Without any technical or programming knowledge, there are changes of ignoring possible conditions. So here we are testing only the test cases, not all the cases. So it is the possibility of chances of ignoring possible conditions of the scenario to be tested, that is a important disadvantage. Then in a stipulated time there are possibilities of testing less and skipping all possible inputs. So here we are not testing all the test cases, we are checking only the samples. So it is testing less and skipping all the possible inputs and their output testing, that is also another disadvantage. Then a complete test coverage is not possible for large and complex system. So these are all the various disadvantages. And then so this black box testing is very much used once you after completing your degree you may get into the job, you may choose the testing job. So nowadays the 80% of jobs are available only in this testing field. So after completing your degree, so if you are applying for any testing job, better you can keep this video with you. So the questions for the testing cases, no, all the questions will be asked only from this black box testing only. Okay students, thank you for watching this video. All the best for your career. Thank you.